Girl 101 signing on for the Aries Rising August Astrology for 2024. Aries Rising, the ruler of your chart is planet Mars that rules your first house. You are a Yang Fire Cardinal rising sign. I've reached over 12,000 views here on the Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel, and I would like to extend a thank you to all astrology enthusiasts that tune into this content. It's thanks to you that this channel is growing and expanding. Thank you for all the views, the likes, shares, and subscribes. Now let's get into the month of August for you, Aries Rising. We're going to discuss the slower moving planetary transits first because there's not a lot of action with these planets in the month of August. Pluto is continuing its retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and this is your 11th house. And on the 1st of September, ingresses in the retrograde motion in the sign of Capricorn, your 10th house. Neptune's retrograde in Pisces, this is your 12th house, and goes direct on December 7. Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, this is your 2nd house, and retrogrades on the 1st of September. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, your 12th house, and goes direct on November 15. Jupiter is transiting in the sign of Gemini, your 3rd house, and retrogrades in the month of October. The first 3 weeks of August, the Sun is continuing its transit in the sign of Leo. It's a domicile sign. The Sun is very happy in the sign of Leo. This is your 5th house that trines your 1st house, so very favorable for you. That Sun, very strongly positioned in your 5th house, is illuminating the house of pleasure and joy and how you connect with certain aspects of your life that give you a sense of optimism. The topics of the 5th house are children, investments, gambling, sports, athletics, creative pursuits, dating, intimacy, and joy and pleasure with partnerships. It is a fantastic house to have that strong Sun in Leo transiting here for you, trining that 1st house, Aries Rising. On the 7th of August, the Sun is sextiling Jupiter in Gemini, your 3rd house. This looks fantastic for communication or even an educational or teaching environment or communication that is excitable, that has a sense of it's got room to grow and expand, that really supports that 5th house of joy and pleasure. So mark that date for you, Aries Rising, on the 7th of August. Looks like a nice exchange of information or just feeling that you are having a lot more fun than you've had for a little while. And it certainly is abundant in energy. Looks great. The 18th of August, we see the Sun conjuncting retrograde Mercury in Leo. So this could be backtracking or going over a conversation, returning back to a creative pursuit, or looking at an investment, something to do with children, starting a new physical health regime. Just looks as if you're ready to communicate or begin moving a lot more than you have been. This feels like an acceleration of energy coming back on board to give you that life force again, and can be an old relationship coming back from the past or communicating with you. On the 19th of August, we see that Sun squaring Uranus and Taurus, your 2nd house. This is like an abrupt change connected to your finances or resources, a sense of self that feels off regarding those 5th house topics of joy and pleasure. So it could be a change of mind or a change of heart in regards to what you are committed to in regards to creative projects. And again, all of those topics of the 5th house. The 22nd of August, we see the Sun leaving Leo and ingressing into Virgo until the 22nd of September, and this is your 6th house. Now, the 6th house is in aversion to your 1st house, so it may be difficult for you to address the 6th house topics, which is the daily grind with work and co-workers, getting on top of your health problems, looking at things that you've overlooked regarding your daily routines, services you provide to other people, and co-workers and work that you do. So that Sun in Virgo will have you hyper analytical, overcritical, possibly throwing the baby out with the bathwater, redoing things, going back to the drawing board. When the Sun is transiting in Virgo, your sixth house of the daily grind. The moons for the month of August. Let's have a look at the lunations. On the 4th, we've got a new moon in Leo, your fifth house. Wow, this looks great. A brand new beginning, could be a new relationship, something going on with your children, a creative project, again, an investment, gambling, sports, athletics, the house of intimacy. This looks fantastic for something uplifting starting that really impacts you emotionally. You're feeling very connected with this new beginning, really loud, proud, and bold energy going on. So, whenever you feel that you're ready to have a fresh start within those fifth house topics, this is the day where you can have the cosmic green light to go ahead boldly. On the 19th of August, we see a full moon in Aquarius, your 11th house, where logic takes precedence. This is our tribe, how we unite and connect with friends, groups, allies, people that are ambassadors that can help us professionally, and also our dreams, aspirations, and goals for the future. You may have a little win here in getting comrades on your side or getting your tribe together and enjoying life and having a lot more freedom to interact with people than you have for a long time. You may be looking at new directions regarding your groups or organizations you're connected to, friends as well, something peaking in a friendship or an ally that is quite beneficial to you and almost has a sense of groundbreaking energy behind this lunation. Looks fantastic. The full moon on the 19th of August for you, Aries rising in your 11th house, sextiling your first house of the self and your character. Mars, your lord of your chart, Aries rising, is transiting direct for the whole month of August in Gemini, your third house. Mars in Gemini, we've got direct speech, sharp intellect, quickening, action, lots of momentum when Mars is in that third house of communication and short distance travel. You're on the move. You're paving the way in regards to getting on top of anything to do with communication and technologies. So you may be doing a lot of reading or writing or speaking when Mars is transiting in that very loud communication house of Gemini being the third house for you. It sextiles your first house, so it's quite beneficial. On the 14th of August, we've got Mars conjuncting planet Jupiter in Gemini. This looks fantastic for, again, an opportunity to grow and expand with communication, your local environment. There just seems to be some auspicious energy brewing around you in the month of August that really gives you a sense of uh, self accomplishment, determination. You're on the right track, and it seems like the outworld's reflecting back to you that what you're doing or putting your effort into is recognized. So this looks fantastic for potentially a teacher or a someone that is in a institution or your environment that gives you a leg up or is an ambassador for you. Fantastic day on the 14th of August can be quite inflammatory, really exacerbating energy that gets you really heightened on this day. So mark the 14th of August in your calendar. Mercury transiting in Virgo, its domicile and exaltation sign, your sixth house, Aries rising, is a wonderful transit for getting the job done, having conversations, looking at the finer details connected to your health, your work, services you provide to other people, pets, and also co-workers. This is the house where we put a lot of energy into other people and where we start to really drop into feeling a lot more energetic and eliminating any distractions if we feel that we're not strong in our own physical bodies and our health issues. Mercury here in a strong position with Virgo can really accelerate getting on top of ailments, anything chronic, and feeling like we're kicking goals in our services and our work. Great transit for you in that sixth house of the daily grind. On the 5th of August, Mercury then retrogrades in the sixth house in Virgo. So if there's things that you need to recalibrate, renegotiate, this is the transit to do it. It's helpful to go back over details, data, and analytics that you may have overlooked, or you can see a return from work or a return of people that you used to collaborate with in the workplace or in regards to services that you provide. You could possibly get a significant contract that's beneficial for you as well in regards to services you provide. Fantastic when Mercury is retrograding in that strong place of Virgo. On the 7th of August, we see Mercury conjuncting Venus in the sign of Virgo in her fall position. So we've got a retrograde Mercury conjuncting Venus, the planet of love, beauty, pleasure, joy, and connection. So we could see a return of a relationship or friendships. We can see a return of conversations from people we haven't heard from before. We could have some beneficial news regarding our physical bodies or our health, or we get the green light to go ahead with a surgical procedure, for example. We get assistance, or we have some allies around us that we didn't realize we had people on our side in regards to workplace situations and co-workers and services you provide with other people. It could be some lucrative contracts or finances or even conversations that are going to boost your everyday existence. The daily grind looks great on the 7th of August. The 14th of August, we see Mercury ingress retrograde in Leo, your 5th house. Now, Mercury going back to that 5th house, retrograding, is fantastic for reconnecting with children, going back over the topics of children, looking at your creative projects. There could be some talk about what you do creatively in the public, or you may find lucrative people that are ready to invest with you. You could see a return of finances due to work that you have been doing. Could potentially be looking at your financial position regarding joy and pleasure, or a romantic partner comes back on the scene, or someone from the past that you have had a history with could come back online as well when that Mercury is retrograding in the 5th house of joy and pleasure and partnership. On the 24th of August, we see Mercury sextiling Mars in Gemini, your 3rd house. Now, Mercury is in that retrograde. So retrograde Mercury from the 5th to the 3rd looks good for the go-ahead with the communication project, reading, writing, publishing, teaching, learning, anything to do with vehicles or your local environment. Looks as if there's a cosmic green light to go ahead, and it's going to benefit you either financially or feel like you're anchoring into an agreement or contract that's lucrative for you connected with creative projects. Fantastic day on the 24th of August. On the 28th, we see Mercury now going direct in Leo. We find out the nuances, we've had the conversations, we looked over contracts, we've signed on the dotted line, we've reconnected, we've had some fun, and now Mercury can zoom through Leo where you feel confident in your speech, you're certain about your direction, and you are literally kicking goals, Aries, from the 28th of August. Venus, our planet of love and relationships, beauty, art, music, pleasure, and unity. Well, she's been transiting in Leo, your 5th house, and opening up the month on the 2nd of August. She's squaring Uranus and Taurus, your 2nd house. Venus is the ruler of the sign of Taurus, so she's looking back over her shoulder from the 5th to your 2nd house and asking you, is the juice worth the squeeze? Or you may be overlooking a financial opportunity here, or something that may be costing you a little bit too much. An interesting day that can be difficult on the 2nd of August. The 4th of August, we see Venus ingressing into Virgo, her fall position, your 6th house. It's a quick transit for Venus because on the 29th she ingresses into Libra, her domicile sign. So Venus is flying through your 6th house of the day-to-day health, working, co-workers, services you provide to other people, and pets. Venus transiting here in fall is very nitpicky, knows her self-worth, knows her value. If you need to renegotiate things to do with your work or services you provide with people, this is a fantastic transit for saying the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to me extending my energy to others. On the 22nd of August, Venus squares Mars in Gemini, your ruling planet in the 3rd house. What could be difficult this day is communication or movement. There could be a problem in regards to what's happening in your day-to-day environment affecting your work, or even your health could be hitting a snag on the 22nd of August. The 27th of August, we see Venus trining Uranus and Taurus, your 2nd house. So a Venus-Uranus trine could be a nice turnaround in moving in a different direction or opening up your finances connected to your day-to-day work and services you provide with other people. The 28th of August, we see Venus opposing retrograde Neptune in Pisces, your 12th house. Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces. So Venus looking across the way to the 12th house from the 6th to that retrograde Neptune could simply be a warning to look before you leap. There may be things that you need to tie up with a nice red bow before you move forward in regards to the 6th house topics of your health, your daily routine, work and services, pets. So look before you leap is what's coming through really strongly for me here for you as an Aries rising on the 28th of August. There just may be something that is anchoring you that could be feeling like you're in a push-pull situation. But Venus, no less, is all about having our best interests. So there could be something here that you could be feeling like you're dodging a bullet, something from the past that you may want to drop back into, and Venus is like, no. We can't do this anymore because this is too important what we're actually doing on the day-to-day. We can't go back. On the 29th of August, we see Venus ingressing into her domicile sign of Libra, and this is your 7th house, Aries rising, opposing your 1st house. Venus in Libra, social, intellectual exchange, lots of communication. We are talking connection and amplification of unity with other people and being very aware of our own values and how they balance with others. The 7th house is where we put a ring on it. We sign on a dotted line and we go into a contract and shake hands quite easily because we find value in what we're connecting with. So Venus in a strong position here in Libra, her domicile sign, your 7th house opposing your 1st house, is fantastic for having almost a detective lens on of understanding what is worth it and what isn't, knowing your self-worth when it matches up against a significant relationship or partnership, be it professional or otherwise, and agreements, contracts, and negotiations. You could have some fantastic opportunities that cross your path. And Venus opposing your 1st house, you may be a lot more attractive than you're anticipating and getting a lot more attention from other people at this time, and you may be getting some very lucrative offers. But look before you leap, before you sign on that dotted line and shake hands and put a ring on it. Know the details and do not undervalue yourself. You are valuable, and if they want to connect with you, Aries rising, whoever this is, and anchor into an agreement, make sure you're getting your money's worth and it's lucrative and abundant for you. Fantastic transit. On the same day of the 29th of August, Venus is trining retrograde Pluto in Aquarius, your 11th house. Fantastic for having an ambassador or ally come back online, someone in authority that really boosts your career and your public image. This could be a group or organization that notices your work or really understands the value of what you do and they want to connect with you, and dreams, goals and aspirations for your future, even with a friend, could really give you a sense of joy and pleasure in the house of pleasure, that 7th house. Fantastic day. Mark that in your calendar, the 29th of August, Aries rising. Cosmic Girl 101 signing off. Thank you, Aries rising, for watching the video. I trust you have a fabulous month of August. Honestly, this month looks fantastic for you. Enjoy it, and I will catch you next video.